Please be advised that if you care about spoilers, I'm going to start talking about them within the next milliseconds, so away with you. I decided to dispense with the worst episode ever format and go pretty direct with this one. So let's do us all a favour. Let's put the words midnight and sequel to one side. And let's overlook the fact that I could have told you this whole reveal from off my heart without even seeing it. Oh, my old head. I've been here before. Flashback. Dramatic music. The catch-22 of criticising it for its unoriginality, whilst also complaining about every which way in which the creature behaves differently this time. I'm more interested in talking about what's not here, and it's been bugging me for every episode since the Star Beast. This era seems more interested in championing the idea of ordinary people and having a humanist bent rather than actually including these things. The killing blow to the Empire of Death was not the nonsense reveal itself, but the fact that it missed the forest for the trees in regards to ordinary people. We never get to know Ruby's mom like we did the Tylers, the Joneses, or the Nobles. It was too busy being a response to the rise of Skywalker. Now, this episode gets closer to correcting this than most. I highly recommend Darren Mooney's review of the episode. He goes into great detail and is way more eloquent and less depressing than I am. He makes the case that this is a story about the dangers of turning your back on the vulnerable. Everything with Alice is gold. The performance was phenomenal. Everything surrounding that character as well was just more good ideas. Like the on-screen subtitles, the fact that she revealed that she could read lips, it catches this doctor out for a bit, and is a nice development from the writing on the wall scene from It Takes You Away. My favourite part of the episode is actually when they revealed that they're not going to leave Alice behind. The loud, triumphant 15 theme plays. If the Midnight sequel had just been window dressing for a story about Alice, I would have loved it. But that's the question. Is that what we have here? Like, for instance, do we touch on Alice in the end? A whole second climax takes place without her, and instead of seeing her reunite with her daughter, we get a tease for Mrs. Flood and a horror cliffhanger. Russell gives us some traits to latch onto, and the idea that she thinks she isn't important is familiar ground, but I really latch onto it. I can't tell you many details about Jethro or the Professor or Dee Dee's lives, but I get a sense of who they are. I know them after that episode. The beat of no one knowing who the hostess was really lands because it has what this version is missing. Humanity. In 2008, we weren't dealing with space marines or other go-to horror trappings. We were dealing with ordinary, mundane people. And when the comforts and assurances of civilization vanished, whatever empathy they had was eroded until the ugliest sides came out to play. It went from shouting matches to a free-for-all blood sport with petrifying speed. Whereas here we get one obnoxious marine losing it in not that strenuous circumstances for someone in his profession and being a problem because the episode needed someone to be a problem. This, I think, is one of the bugbears of aping classic sci-fi. There's a lot of characters like this, especially in Base Under Sieges and Classic Who. Credit to this episode, usually they're a commander. They drive me up the wall because... Okay, in universe, it makes sense why no one trusts the Doctor. It makes sense when Ncuti rattles off about being here thousands of years ago and everyone just looks at him like he's a lunatic. But there's an automatic disconnect because we as an audience know the Doctor's gonna solve the situation. Really, they should just be letting him get along with it. This can overcome and be proper drama rather than just a delaying tactic or something to frustrate the plot. And tragically, Midnight was the go-to example of how to do this well. When it happened in Midnight, it came later in the story, and it was an example of the Doctor losing control. He was losing ground to the entity. The power of his charisma was vanishing before his eyes. Here, this guy is flagged as not liking the Doctor from the start. So this wasn't him losing trust, and the entity barely had to do anything to get him to turn on them. As a result, it's not nearly as unnerving, even besides the ragdolling and the whispering voices and the fact that we know what the Midnight Entity's head kind of looks like now. Because I expect an isolated crew on a desolate rock to go mad and turn on each other. I expect space marines to go paranoid and aggressive and relieve their superiors of command. That's standard sci-fi horror. So there we have it. One of the most unique bits of Who has been turned into a slice of standard sci-fi horror, with its humanity peeking out behind the gaps in a wall of continuity. It's just taking what was unique about it and turning it into what everything else is doing. Oh well, there's always next week. I'm seeing lots of people like this one, lots of people I respect. So I trust that it is not as simple as I'm writing it off as. So don't worry, next time I'll review a V&A or something, or... Alright, as you were.